It's the coldest hand that run down this land where the ocean lands.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode with the Cascadia Overland crew. On the previous episode, you saw Allison, me, and Dante arriving at this spot and spending the day camping at an amazing camping place by the lake. On this episode, we'll be heading out to explore some more. We're going to cross the border back into Canada and find a new spot to camp at. We spent the night camped by this calm lake, surrounded by the canyons, in northern Washington state. Having set up a rooftop tent for the very first time, we were starting the day off by sleeping in and moving slowly. Snow had fallen around us overnight, but had already melted in the areas where the early rays of the sun hit. In areas covered by shadows, however, the snow sat a bit thicker than it did the day before. We weren't going to spend long here today before packing up and heading out. We have a very long drive ahead of us and many interesting things to see on our way. So we're eager to get the day going. This is our last chance to enjoy this specific scenery. So let's just take a few moments and enjoy it together.
It's a pulse and shove. It's the sharpest cry. The here goes bitter wide. Where the desperate lie. Far from ever feeling lost with me. I'll push you back towards the land and sea. They're going down for love, and love is free. Stick with me and I will guarantee you're never lost among the crowd with me. Never lost among the crowd with me. Everywhere you go I'll be. Good morning, folks. Another day in paradise. I just woke up, so I look sleepy, I know. But I woke up and I noticed something really cool. Check it out. So I woke up, I came down, and I noticed this right away. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a Cadbury cream egg. You know what that means? The Easter bunnies visited. There's one right there. Look at that. Look at that. More chocolate. I really hope my dog does. Oh my god, there's so much. Look. There's more chocolate there. And there. And all the weird spots. Oh, and these are our stupidly muddy tires from yesterday. This is why you don't get any traction in the mud, because it just cakes up the insides. And then you have nothing to slide on. Oh, look, more chocolate. Look at that. Hell yeah. Oh, something fell on the ground. Gotta make sure my dog doesn't get to it. Oh, on the muddy tire. Look at that. The Easter Bunny has a sense of humor. Thank you, Easter Bunny.
I made breakfast.
And the Easter Bunny came.
I know.
Isn't that cool? What are you eating?
I'm eating hash browns, and I put some egg and some cheese in there.
Nice. Sounds delicious.
I'm good at while it's hot.
Okay.
Things get cold around here a lot faster than you think they do.
Also, it's much colder than yesterday.
Much colder, windier, grayer.
Yeah, grayer.
Yeah, the view is still gorgeous, but...
Oh, totally. It's interesting. We were talking yesterday about the contrast between these two ledges. So the one behind Allison here, the cliffs are snow-covered and just, yeah, look cold as hell. And then right across the water here is a similar formation that's just not covered in snow. I think it's just the way...
I remember seeing yesterday.
It did snow overnight there, yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I think it's the way that the sun shines there.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Dante. You having a good morning? What is he chewing on? A bark? Piece of bark?
Yeah, piece of wood.
Oh, you're so funny. Dante's so funny. He's just lying there, closing his eyes, opening them. It's like he's falling asleep, just like lying there.
He's such an old man now. Oh, I think he heard something. Was it an animal? There's also lots of animal sounds. Frogs, grasshoppers, or crickets, I guess. Loons, oh, so loud. The loons are so loud. And other birds as well.
So we're all packed up, ready to go. Everything's packed up. Dante's loaded up. The tent has been put away. It is a little painful zipping it back up just because you have to go around all the four corners, the front, the back, and everything. But really, it only took us a few minutes. Especially with two people, it's way easier. I think with one person, it would be a little bit harder, but I got the tent down by myself yesterday, so not a big deal. So we're headed out, going to go north towards Canada. We will cross the border into Canada near Osoyoos, BC, and then go from there. Pretty excited for the rest of the day. It is supposed to be a really beautiful drive north from here as well, through the canyons and the deserty area, rocky areas as well. So we're pretty excited. So yeah, I'm just gonna turn around, head on out, and go from there. Okay, you ready to go, Allison?
I am ready to go.
Okay, let's bounce.
Do this.
I just figured it out. You're the Easter Bunny.
I didn't say that.
Well, you're bouncing like an Easter Bunny.
Did you find all of the chocolates before we drive off?
I really think I found all the chocolates, yeah.
Okay, good.
I really hope so. Okay, I'm freezing. It's windy. Let's get out of here.
Okay.
Leaving a place like this is always bittersweet. On one hand, we had a great time and are set up with a warm bed, a kitchen, and all that goes along with it. On the other hand though, the excitement of the unknown and what's to come next is drawing us ahead. Like a great explorer's desire, we have much to see and much to learn. A common theme in this trip has been the constant change in landscape and scenery. As we drove mile after mile, the land beneath us changed almost as quickly as the weather did. We were pretty much at the halfway mark of our trip now, having driven some 600 kilometers or 370 miles. While some people may get tired of long drives like this, Allison and I thrive on them and always find ways to keep ourselves entertained, such as noticing the changes in the mountains or trees, or even just checking out a dam that we're passing through. Or we find something fun to eat.
And once again, we have switched biodomes here. On the right, it looks a little more sandy, but we've got some trees and stuff growing, and the mountains in front of us, the shape has kind of shifted a little bit as well. So interesting scenery coming up. And so what did you just find?
Okay, we're driving along the highway and there's a sign for Jamaican food. So I had to do a U-turn on the highway because I'm so down. The only problem is we don't have any US cash right now, but I'm gonna see if they have credit. I think they do. I'm gonna find out because I really want it. I hope they take Canadian dollars or Visa. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are in middle of nowhere, Washington State. We stopped by the side of the highway because I saw a sign for jerk chicken. And can't tell you where to go, but damn, it is good jerk chicken. Look at that. You get this, plus what Allison's eating. Nom nom nom. For $10, and damn, it's good.
Well, we are getting close to the Canadian border now. This is one of the prettiest spots we've been, let alone knowing this is where we cross into Canada.
Yeah, right? Like, this is definitely the most beautiful border crossing I've seen between Canada and the US. It's just you're driving along the, I believe this is the Okanagan River, and along these like cliffs, and you can see the mountains in Canada up north of here. And yeah, just like this road in itself is like a dream. And like, I can only imagine riding this road on a motorcycle. It would be so fun just because there's tons of twists and turns, and just a really nice road in general. I also find somewhat in the US the roads are just better maintained, even in the middle of nowhere, I've realized that some of the roads are just so well maintained. But yeah, this is a really nice road, really gorgeous, and we'll get to the Canadian border and check back in. So I'm driving across this cliff because there was a turnoff and I wanted to see where it goes. And I don't know, if there's a really nice camping spot here, we might just camp here instead of going back into Canada. Because, like, I don't know, it's pretty gorgeous here. Well, I took a turn because this is a really cool spot. Just goes down a cliff. And, like, I feel like theoretically we could camp here. Somebody has clearly lit a fire there previously. I don't know.
Okay, so we're going for a little walk over to the end of this path. This is the dead end where you can't drive any further. But let's see what is over here. Whoa, here's a whole cave. Pretty cool. Where are you going, Dante?
Stumbling upon and finding cool hidden spots like this is one of our favorite parts of overlanding and exploring. You never really know what you'll come across. We were in fact at the northern tip of the Washington Backcountry Discovery Route, or WABTR for short. We've planned previously to do this entire trip from north to south, but haven't done it yet. We're hoping we'll be able to come back to this region though and do an entire week-long trip, from the Canadian border down to the Oregon and Washington border. This part of our trip felt like a crossroad, because for starters, we were extremely close to the border. And secondly, the landscape was about to change very drastically from this raw canyon-like landscape to trees, forest, and river. We enjoyed this view for a while before making a decision on what to do next.
Okay, so this is a really, really beautiful spot. Very unique-ish. Really cool. And it's very secluded. I mean, there's absolutely nobody here. There's only one way in and out, so haven't seen anybody coming this way. We're not going to camp here because we've already filled out our ArriveCan thing, which is just an app that you need to fill out before returning into Canada. It's something that's only because of COVID, unfortunately. But we've already filled that out. We don't have any cell phone signal, so we can't actually cancel it. So they should be expecting us at the border. Also, we don't have any firewood, and there's no firewood here, so we would get pretty cold pretty quick. As you can see, there's no like real trees to chop down or anything like that. So we're gonna head into Canada as planned, though this was a really cool detour, really cool spot. And we usually mark these kind of places or these kind of spots on Gaia Maps, so if we are ever in this area and we're looking for a place to camp, we know what this place is like. So I'll take a few notes on like what we found here, what's cool about it, what's not so cool about it. I mean, I don't see any downsides to this place other than that you can't really gather any firewood. And otherwise, it's really wicked. And there's all these caves that, and I think that's why there's access to this location, because if you look that way, there's a cave over there way far away, and then there's bridges over there that obviously aren't there anymore, and then there's another cave over here. So I'm assuming that this path or this trail or whatever was originally here for mining purposes, and those mines no longer exist. Anyways, we're gonna head out and we'll check it in a bit. I don't know how much this camera is capturing this, but I think this is my new favorite viewpoint. This is all private property and there's cows down there. but holy cow, literally. This is one of the most beautiful things. I really hope the camera's capturing the beauty that I'm seeing. I don't think it is though. I think you have to see this in person.
Look where we are. This is so much fun. I love exploring and just finding all of these cool places that we never would have come to before. There's nothing else here.
There's nothing
no,
here.
like, you know, destination or anything.
There's no place to camp.
Yeah.
It's just a gorgeous spot.
A spot.
There's a song by Sting. It goes something about fields of barley. Now I can't put on that song because copyright and stuff. But I bet that's the song I would listen to riding around my horse in this field of barley, even though it's not barley. So you know how we were saying that we're close to the border? No, this is the border crossing.
This isn't a house.
This isn't a house.
This is the
This
CBA.
is the border crossing.
Okay, so we are back in Canada now.
That was the coolest border crossing. I mean, okay, I've done border crossings where there's no border guards. There's literally flower pots and you just walk across them.
Yeah.
Or drive across them. But I know since COVID things have gotten iffy. Where I'm talking about is in Quebec, by the way, where there's just like literally flower pots that show you the difference between Canada and the US, and people have addresses both in Canada and the US. But this was the most beautiful border crossing with the most amazing border guard who was just a cool person.
Super friendly, just wanted to know where we'd been out of curiosity more than like
trying to trip you up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just like, and curious about where we were going and stuff as well, because they live around there and want to check things out too. So
yeah, and if you cross the border as much as we do into the US and back into Canada, you kind of like understand what they're asking and why they're asking. They just want to like make sure you're just being honest with them and not being ridiculous in what you're bringing back into the country. But I mean, we've crossed the border tons of times, and that was the coolest border guard we've met.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I was a bit too excited about hanging out with that border guard. But anyways, we were finally back in Canada and crossing what's called the Big Red Bridge towards our next campsite. It didn't take us long in our search to come across a few viable options that we thought would be good to camp at for the next day or so.
True love never dies.
So we have a couple choices. Here it's kind of hidden from the road. I mean, the road is literally right there. It's flat. This rock, besides the graffiti,
There's graffiti on it.
I feel like this is going to provide a lot of heat, which will be really nice. But yeah, then you're sitting facing the rock. There's no view to look at or anything like that. But there's not really a view anyway. There's access to the river. Not that we really want it, but I mean, it's more secluded than some of the other spots we just drove past that were like right on the side of the road, and there was lots of other people and campers and
very
RVs
front
and stuff.
country.
Okay, well this spot is nice as well. Not quite as flat. Definitely more road facing. There's not any road privacy. I guess we parked the car. But the view of the river is much nicer. So at least we'd be sitting with our fire and then facing the river. Sorry for the river noise, it is quite loud. Not as loud as over there. It's like, I think there's some little more rapids down there. It's a little bit wider and calmer right at this spot, so there's that. Looks like we have choices.
Okay, so we do have to make a decision fairly quick here because I think we have until 8 p.m. before it starts snowing. So we want to be unpacked, set up, cooked, eaten, and then everything put away by 8 p.m.
I'd plotted this spot on my map to check out and camp here a long time ago, in case we were in the area and needed a place to camp. Now that we were here, we were pretty happy by the spot that we'd come across, and pretty excited to just sit down and relax by a warm fire for a bit. Well, as long as we could. Anticipating snow overnight isn't the most fun, but hey, We're Canadian, and snow is in our blood. We were setting up camp next to the small but mighty Ashnola River, somewhere a local gas station attendant had recently camped at and highly recommended when I asked him whether he knew about camping here. Excited for a good night's sleep, we got to making some food before enjoying the views. Either way, that's it for this episode, but we'll be back next week. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.